Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content.
CH58. White and the Nightmare. In a dense forest, two human figure can be seen fighting a group of giant armored spider. A girl wearing orange dress with a line of black, her hair are black and tied in pigtails, her eyes had a crimson color while the other had a clock on it. They sure are persistence. She shot 2 bullets at the armored spider but just bounced back because of its thick armor. My bullets are just bouncing on its armor. Don't worry, I'll take care of this, the other girl said. She had a huge white scythe. She wear a one-piece white dress with wide open sleeves and a large hood. She swing her scythe at the armored spider and slicing its armor like butter. After the two defeated the other armored spider, they keep moving into the dense forest. Are you fine? Asked by the girl who had a black hair. Why do you ask, Kurumi? Well, you know those things are spiders, right? Aren't they related to you? They might be called spider, but they are not related to me. Well, if you said so. We're nearing to our destination. Are you ready, Shiraori? Asked by Kurumi with a worried expression. Yeah, I just hope we can find him here, said by Shiraori while looking at the ground. After a while of walking, they arrive at their destination. To their surprise, on what they saw was a ruins of an abandoned city. So Tempest is destroyed here too, huh? Said by Kurumi while looking sad. Shiraori just stood there and keeps on looking to the ruins of the city. Hey, let's keep moving, Kurumi, we can't stay here for a long time. But we only had 2 Velocity X left. If we can't find him on the next universe. Hey, don't be like that, we can find. No, we will find him at all cost, we can't lost hope now. Kurumi strengthened herself and looked at Shiraori's eyes and said, alright, he never give on us, then I also won't give up until we find him. The two injected a serum on their wrists and they both feel power surging from their body. Lightning can be seen on their eyes. Gonna say this Velocity X really is powerful. It allows us to travel from one universe to another, Shiraori. Well, Kotori-chan and Rimuru-san developed this serum after all. Velocity X is a serum that Rimuru and Kotori development. When Rimuru reincarnated on a world with spirits, Velocity X allowed a person to tap on what is known as Speed Force. It give a person with a very high speed that surpassed the speed of light. It allowed one person to open a bridge to cross from one universe to another that didn't require any form of magic. After the two injected the serum to their self, the two girls look at each other and then ready themselves to run. They both run on a speed that no normal people can see. Even a person that can be called strong will only see a light that run past them. After a few seconds, a blue portal appears in front of the two girls and they run towards it. Oh, my head hurts, Kurumi said to herself while holding her head with her hands. Oh, finally you woke up, Shiraori said, seating next to her. What happened? I honestly don't know. After we entered the bridge my vision turns black and when I woke up we are here. This doesn't look like the Juro forest, Kurumi said while looking around. All they saw was a few trees and an open field in front of them. Well, we first need to know where we are. Let's find a town or even a city and look for information about this place. Agree. The two stand up and start to walk to find a town. After a few hours of walking a town can be seen. Oh, what a beautiful town that is, said by Kurumi while looking at the town that is surrounded by huge walls and huge mountain on its back. Let's head there, said by Shiraori. I still don't know how you keep noticing stuff while your eyes are closed. Don't ask about it, you're the one who had a clock on the eye. The two girls walks toward the road that lead to the town. Usually the two are not a social person in their past, but when they meet Rimuru they started to change and both of them started to develop feeling for Rimuru. While the two are talking they hear a scream on the front of the road that they are walking. They both started to run to see what is happening, and when they arrive at the scenes they saw a carriage that is getting attacked by a lot of bandit. Let's help them, said by Shiraori readying her white scythe. It's rare for you to take the initiative to help someone, Zegion, Zegion. Kurumi said, and suddenly, a giant clock appears behind her. Something then comes out of it and forms into the gun. That clock never failed to amaze me. Well, let's just focus first. Alright, let's go. Both of them run towards the ground of bandit. Shiraori swing her white scythe toward a 4 bandit that is grouping up again a single night and slicing them in half. On Kurumi's side she keeps firing her pistols and with one bullet on bandit goes down one after the others. After they clear everything they walk towards the group and the knights that is protecting the group came in front of them. We thank you for assisting us, said by the knight. He is on his 40s. No problem, but why are they attacking you? Asked by Kurumi. Well, we are part of the resistance that sneak into the capital city to do a rescue operation, but we didn't think that those guys from the capital will follow us here. Rescue? Asked by Kurumi while looking at her sounding. Yes, we came to the capital to rescue them. The person then opened the cover of the carriage and the two girls saw demi-human and monster wearing a slave collar. The two are not surprised by the slave collar since they saw them on their travel on multiple universe. What surprises them is the condition of the people inside. Some of the air thinned to the point that you can see the bones on their body. Some had missing body parts and some even looks like a dead person. Why would they do something like this? Shiraori said with anger, but keep her composure. The people from the capital believe that only human are the superior race than others, so they enslaved the other race. We are lucky that they can't cross that mountain to invade us since it's protected by the yellow dragon. I see, said the Kurumi. What are you two going to do now? Looking from your looks, you two are not from around here and both of you two are powerful enough to beat these guys with ease. Well, we are looking for someone but we don't know where we are, so we haven't decided on what we are going to do, said by Kurumi. Well, if that's the case, can I ask the two of you to help us? I know that I'm not supposed to ask something like this since we only just meet, but please help us overfight the Lasuki nation, the man said while bowing. Shiraori and Kurumi look at each other for a while and then nodded to each other. We will help, but we also want you guys to help us, Shiraori said. If it's within our ability, then we will gladly help, said by the man. Then we want to ask for information about someone and access to any information that is related to other continent, Shiraori asked. If that is all, then we will gladly help out. Do you have yourself a deal? They continued their way towards the town and the two girls decided to help the resistance. Meanwhile in the labyrinth in Tempest, Diablo, Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera are talking to Benimaru when the four demons stop for a few seconds. Something wrong? Benimaru asked the four. Everything is fine, Benimaru Duno, said Diablo. We just felt a familiar presence, said by Ultima. Then who is it? Is it an enemy? Asked by Benimaru. No, if this presence belongs to her then she is not an enemy, said by Testarossa. But how did she end up here? Not only that, I also feel another one besides her. She also seems to be powerful, said by Carrera with a confused look. Rimuru-sama really is full of surprises, said by Diablo. While the four are saying that, Benimaru just stay quite thinking about who these person that the four acknowledge. Ch 59. War Declaration. A man was walking along well-paved streets. This man was a high-ranking government official and both his look and posture exuded arrogance. The man entered a large and luxurious structure. This was the headquarters of the religion that ran this country, the Divine Fragment. He entered and went to the main room, guided by guards. When he arrived, he saw 8 people gathered around a round table. The man knelt down. Even he would not be arrogant enough to act snobbish in front of these people. In fact, no one on the continent would act in such a way in front of these people. That was because they were the ones at the top of both the church and the Lasuki country. The 8 Celestials. He greeted each of them in an extremely respectful manner and then reported his information. Commander Roy was a resistance infiltrator. When our forces made contact with the other continent, he activated explosives and killed all our soldiers. He dared not express an opinion on the matter. His duty was to report and only that. Any other action would lead to severe punishment. Do you have any more information? Ivan, the first Celestial of the day, commented. The Celestials were divided into 2 groups, day and night. Of these groups they had ranks based on their power. Unfortunately not, Your Grace. Our magical cameras were destroyed with the explosion, but our spies will soon reach the new continent. The Celestials dismissed the man who made the report so they could talk about what to do. That's a problem. I didn't think the resistance would have a high-ranking infiltrator in our armies. Ganassi, the second Celestial of the night, commented. Looks like we underestimated them. Pregaius, the third Celestial of the night, spoke thoughtfully. Hey, of course we underestimated them. After all, destroying them would be easy for us. Lazaryu, the second Celestial of the day, spoke arrogantly. Of course we can. I said we should have done it. Riva, the first Celestial of the night, looked irritated. But his words were true. Lasuki could destroy the resistance whenever they wanted. Even if the great yellow dragon that resided in the mountain range was a problem, there were still ways to get through with an army. One of these methods was space magic. However, only those in the high ranks knew about it, as the reason for Lasuki not invading was secret. Riva, you know why we didn't invade the resistance. Also, the resistance didn't cause such a big problem. Our ships have already arrived on the mainland, so we can use teleportation there and start our invasion. Hey, a great idea. Then, the world will be ours. Alright. First we have to find out which is the most powerful country on that continent and declare war. Oh, I think we could do better than that. After talking for another hour, the plan was done. The sun was setting. Rimuru was watching this from his bedroom window. His gaze of contemplation on the beautiful tortoise sun. Rimuru had seen many stars from many different universes, and every time he saw one he couldn't help but think it was beautiful, even though it wasn't the first time he had seen this sun. The airship was almost to Via Belgien, only a few hours to go. Okay, this is it, he said determinedly. Rimuru sent a thought communication to Ciel. Ciel-san, can you come here for a while? Sure. As usual, Ciel accepted Rimuru's request and made his way to the room. Yes? Ciel asked as he entered. Come here. Rimuru asked and Ciel approached. Rimuru stood looking at the sun and Ciel seemed curious about his actions. It's beautiful, isn't it? I don't know. Unlike the master, I don't have a sense of beauty. But by the standards of living things I think, yes, it is beautiful. Hey, I see. Rimuru smiled upon hearing her reply. Really, Ciel was not human, but that didn't matter to him. The only thing I find beautiful is the master. The master is the most beautiful in the universe. Ciel said truthfully. This surprised Rimuru a little, but he soon recovered from his surprise and approached Ciel. Rimuru put his hands on her waist and kissed her. I also think Ciel-san, beautiful. But that body is not mine. I'm just taking on the form of Shizu Izawa. Ciel looked confused, since she knows how much Rimuru loved Shizu, but Rimuru just smiled. I know. Even though I think your form is beautiful, I'm not talking about your body or face. I'm talking about you. You are beautiful. In other words, Rimuru was referring to his soul. Ciel stared deeply at Rimuru, and she blushed. This was the first time Rimuru had seen Ciel blush. This was because she always kept great control over her own body, but now her nervousness was high and she could not control herself. Master, this is. Ciel for the first time didn't know what to say. Rimuru let go of his waist and took a step back. He put his hand in his pocket and Ciel saw Rimuru pull out a small black box. Rimuru knelt in front of him and opened the box, revealing a white ring with a light blue jewel. What is the master doing? Is that it? What do I do? I don't know what to do in this situation. This was a surprise for Ciel. When she was inside Rimuru's consciousness, Ciel knew everything he was thinking, but now that she had a human body, Rimuru managed to surprise her. Ciel-san, I want to spend my whole life with you. Without growing old, without death separating us. Rimuru said the words she had rehearsed. Everything was true. Rimuru would not age and also had no plans to die, so he planned to live forever alongside his wives, Ciel included in that. I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I love you too. I love you more than anything. Ciel wanted to scream, but this was no time to interrupt Rimuru. Ciel was already shedding tears of joy. She couldn't control her feelings at this moment. Just these words from Rimuru made her extremely happy. Do you want to marry me? Yes. Yes, 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 as many yeses as Master wants. I love you. I love you with all my being. Rimuru placed the ring on her finger. The two embraced and kissed. Ciel wrapped her legs around Rimuru's waist as if she never wanted to let go. She put her arms around his neck and Rimuru held her by her thighs so she wouldn't fall. The two kissed passionately. This kiss lasted so long that they lost count. Now Ciel was not only Rimuru's girlfriend, she was in the same position as Chloe and Sakura. She was going to marry him and spend eternity by his side. That was all she wanted most of all. Ciel was in eternal bliss. Her happiness could not be described. She just wanted to hold on to Rimuru and never let go. Still kissing, the two of them lay down on the bed. After a few minutes, they stopped kissing and just lay there, Rimuru stroking her hair while they both watched the sunset. Come to think of it, when I asked Chloe to marry me, it was also sunset, Rimuru thought. Ciel-san. Rimuru caught his attention. You may not be the only woman I love, but you are, and always will be one of the women in my life. Rimuru was being sincere. He already had 2 other loved ones and nothing guaranteed that this number wouldn't increase, not that he intended to go around hunting down women to form a big harem. I know, and I don't care. Being next to Master is the only thing I want, and being married to Master, it's the best thing in the world. Ciel smiled and snuggled into Rimuru's arms. Rimuru also smiled upon hearing her answer and hugged her gently. Looking at it now, Master is right. The sunset is really beautiful. Those words were sincere. After all, from today on, every time Ciel saw the sunset, she would remember this moment. Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle at night, in a very famous tavern, several people could be seen. This tavern was the most famous in Tempest, if you didn't count those in the capital. Its name was Horn of the Beetle and almost every night it was full. Tonight was no exception. In fact today it was more crowded than usual. One more. A regular customer slammed down his glass and asked the waitress for another shot. He was a high orc who lived in this city. The city of Rimuru, the capital of Tempest. The reason that today this place was more crowded than usual was the appearance of a famous figure, who was rarely seen. Everyone looked discreetly at this figure, but no one said, "I would like a sandwich." Yes, Zegion-sama. The waitress hurried to talk to the cook. She was nervous because the man who just ordered a sandwich was one of the 12 patrons of Rimuru, Zegion. The reason Zegion was here? Simple. Some time ago Zegion found himself in a dilemma. What to do with his life from now on? Before, Zegion only cared about getting strong and nothing else, but today this was no longer so important. It had been almost 30 years since Yuki was defeated and the world was at peace. So even though Zegion still continued his training, he wanted to do something more with his life. Zegion asked his trainer, Valdora, for tips, who replied, "You should get out more, Zegion. Get out of the maze, go have fun, meet new people. Trust me, I am a master at socializing." Kuahahahaha. Zegion took these words seriously. He asked Ramirez if he could leave the maze for a while and she easily accepted. Not least because it would be difficult for anyone to get to his floor. So here he was, eating in a tavern. He had brought Apito along so the two of them could see how the town they once looked after was doing. Obviously these two were like celebrities all over the country, so all the people in town were excited to see them. "Phew, what are you thinking, Zegion-sama?" Apito asked and drank the liquid in his cup. It was a strong, sweet liquor. "It's fun," Zegion commented after thinking for a while. Apito smiled upon hearing his words. She liked to see Zegion trying new things. Apito also stayed in the labyrinth, but she often went out to have fun and party. And even in the maze she had her bees to talk to, so she wasn't lonely. Unlike Zegion. "Here you go." The waitress returned with a sandwich. This waitress was of the lizard man race and appeared to be just over 20 years old. She was like Soka and others who received human form after evolving. "Thanks, here you go." Zegion took out some silver coins from his space storage. However, the waitress did not take the money. "No, there is no need, Zegion-sama. You ended up bringing us a lot of customers, so this sandwich is on the house." She seemed quite determined not to take the money. Zegion was about to insist when boom, a loud bang resounded and a strong wind kicked up the dust in the street. Zegion and Apito quickly glanced at each other and immediately left the tavern to see what was going on. As they left, the two saw several people running. Some of them looked frightened, but they all calmed down when they saw Zegion and Apito. "Over there." Zegion pointed to a person. This person was emanating a greater aura than the others. His clothes were white with blue details, he had a staff and gray hair. No matter how one looked at it, this man resembled a priest. It seemed that this man was the one who caused the bang and scared the people. There were some damaged houses around, so he was probably the one who did it. The man spotted Zegion and Apito. He slowly approached. "My name is Ares. I am one of the 12 priests who serve the Celestials." "I am Zegion, one of the 12 patrons who serves the great demon lord, Rimuru." Zegion-sama. Whistle did not introduce herself. She knew very well about Losuke and the Celestials, and that's also why she didn't attack the man the moment she saw him. This situation could be more complex than it seemed. "What are your intentions?" Zegion questioned in a cold tone. Obviously they would not be good intentions. As they talked, Zegion and Ares gave no opening to be attacked and neither took their eyes off each other. Both were assessing their opponent. "It's simple. I came here to declare war on this continent. Furthermore, I will take the opportunity to cause as much destruction and death as possible. Of course, just for you monsters. And what are you going to do?" Zegion did not answer the question. He just spoke to Apito. "Apito, warn the others. There is a very large anti-magic area around us." Because of this area, Zegion couldn't contact the others with telepathy, so he commanded Apito. "Yes." Apito turned and flew away at high speed. It was then that Zegion decided to answer Ares' question. With a punch. Ares put his staff in front of him and shielded himself from the punch. The staff, previously white, took on a metallic gray color. In addition, some parts appeared that glowed blue. This was a technological staff. "You little shit monster." The moment Zegion came close, he was able to gauge the strength of his enemy. He was a saint who could rival an awakened demon lord. Zegion was an awakened demon lord, however. Boom. Zegion punched Ares against the ground, causing a thud to resound. His punch was imbued with magical space domain aura. Ares didn't seem to be able to react to it. He just lay on the ground bruised, with a perplexed look on his face. Zegion raised his arm, preparing to throw another punch. Wait, Ares died. Zegion used space domination and broke Ares' body into thousands of pieces. Even though Ares was a saint, it was no problem for him. Kufufufufufufufu, it looks like Sir Zegion didn't need our help. Zegion heard a voice behind, and when he looked, he saw Diablo, Benimaru, Ciel and Whistle. He didn't answer Diablo, he just gave a slight nod. So what was that man doing here? What did he want? Benimaru questioned him, and Zegion answered with a simple word. War. Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle. The airship arrived at Via Belgian. The news of Ciel and Rimuru's engagement had spread, and everyone already knew. They received many congratulations in this time, and Ciel would not let go of Rimuru for a second. She was much more loving than usual. But Chloe and Sakura didn't even bother, since it was a special day for her. The others had mixed reactions. Hajime didn't say anything, but he seemed happy for Rimuru. Yu, Shia, and Tio congratulated them both heartily. Shizuku also congratulated them, but she looked strange when she did so. The others didn't say anything. At the moment, the two were in the main room, and Ciel was on Rimuru's lap. He had his hands on his waist, and Ciel had her hands around his neck while hugging him tightly. Ah, Ciel-san, we have arrived. Rimuru spoke, scratching the back of his neck. Yes, I know. Ciel spoke in her natural tone. She seemed not to have understood what Rimuru was talking about. Sue, you don't want to get off my lap? He asked, half embarrassed. No, Ciel said tearfully and hugged him tighter. But, you know, I have to get up. No. I want to stay with Master. I want everyone to know that I will now be his forever. Ciel hugged him even tighter. There were tears in the corner of her eyes. She seemed to be serious. Easy, easy. Rimuru stroked her hair, and that alone was enough for her to melt like ice cream. Look, you and I are going to stay close to each other the whole time, okay? No need to worry. Rimuru picked her up like a princess and lifted her up. He put her down, and Ciel looked sad. But then Rimuru put his hand around her waist and said, I won't let go, is that okay? Ciel looked happy. She nodded and smiled. Everyone got out of the airship. The first to come to meet them was Alpharic, who was extremely happy to see Altina and thanked her deeply. After that they went after Shia's father, Cam. Dad, Shia. Shia and her father hugged each other happily for the reunion. After expressing his happiness that Shia was okay, Cam was explained about how the group met up with the Howlia. So the boss and the leader are going to help rescue those two? Hajime and Rimuru nodded in agreement. Cam looked happy and went to gather the other Howlia. Hajime-san, Rimuru-san, thank you. Shia bowed and thanked them. Hajime and Rimuru reassured her by saying, you are one of us now. After that, everyone went back to the Empire.